As I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain. Good morning on this Wednesday, February 23rd, 2022. The time is 12:33 a.m. and welcome to Early in a.m. with Isha. It's important to keep a level head in any situation. I pride myself on level headedness. I never get a chance to give myself a pat on the back when I, keep a level head. It's been an up and down last couple of days. I've had an emergency in my family, and I'm not going into details, but sometimes, tears are necessary to keep a situation calm. And when I find myself in dangerous situations and I don't have any tears in my eyes, I'm way too calm for my own good. Sometimes, it scares me a little bit. I get angry about it. Because the first initial thought is, I must not care anymore. I've become so hardened by, the last 20, 30 years of my life that I just don't have the character or the spirit to cry anymore. It's just not in me to do so, and that's not true. My biggest issue is the things that I used to cry, the things that used to make me cry. I used to cry on the spot about very little things. I carry my emotions on my sleeve. And it got to a point where I was just like this sensitive soft spot. But for the past 20 years or so, I've been stabbed in that spot repeatedly so many times on random occasions for any reason. Sometimes it was just out of pure anger on the other person's part, jealousy, malice. I can't put a hand on it. But it hardened me so much. I've gotten kind of it's rock hard me so much that I've become insensitive, and sometimes I get angry when I'm supposed to be sad. And I don't think it's made me evil. I think it can be scary to someone looking from the outside in. I can look or appear as a devil, but someone who's showing redness in an area or hardness in an area, no one's looking for stab marks. They're just thinking, this person must be just this way because they just don't care about life. Or, they're so corrupted, they don't, they shouldn't care about life in general. It's not true. I just got severely beat up over the years, severely injured in the one area that all my emotions flowed from. Everything about me that made me a loving, caring person, even the part of me that used to love fairy tales and the reading of the books and the writing of the poetry, all that flows from the same flaw. It comes from the same area. It's just, I've been just in this melee of being called out on my choices, or being confronted about my choices, or being reminded of choices I made, or not being able to move forward in life because the people I've scarred may be in leadership roles in the places I need to be to move on to the next stage. If you're going to do it on human terms, because as much as the spirit, floods you and tells you you're made for better, you still have to go through the flesh to get these things manifested. Anyway, a part of me has gone really hard over the years of just being at a witness and at attention of these things and not being able to abuse something like a chemical or something. I mean, beating on a credit card is one thing, but that doesn't throw my chemical off balance. It's not like a drug or sex or something like that. It's a piece of clothing. And if I buy the clothing and I end up sending it back to the store, giving it to the Goodwill, or not necessarily wearing it, all I've done is postpone the feeling. I keep postponing it. And then, some crazy night I'll have where I can't sleep and I'm restless. All these things manifest. And I get really hardened in that character. And I seem almost impossible. I feel like a statue almost in my walking. I feel heavier on my feet. It feels like gravity is pulling me down into my lower extremities. I just want to tell people out there who when life circumstances make you harder than you think you can handle. Because a lot of times I'm rougher and I'm tougher than I can even handle. There's ways about me that invite all sorts of this thug appeal that I don't see it coming. But because, it doesn't, a lot of people, nobody wants to be a millionaire by saving $1 at a time. But if you just get used to always saving that dollar, every time you see the dollar, you save it. At some point, after years and years of saving, you're going to become a millionaire. It's different from someone who hits the lottery and then gets the million up front in front of all the lights and cameras. It's a different presentation than the other person who's off in the dark that has $1 million and is so numb to accepting it. The richness of the money isn't even in the savings. It's in the person's ability to do it $1 at a time. And a lot of times you look back on what you've done and you can't realize you've amassed that much. It's hard to, when you embody it in a single essence and at one time, you realize how hard you are, how far you've come in, and you're almost, it's a dream come true, and you never realize it's meant to happen to you, that you've become this person. This person I am now used to, before all the toughness came, I used to cry. Like, I cried about everything. Didn't get my way. If I wanted ice cream and a parent or somebody said no, I'd go in the corner and cry. There'd be tears running down my face. Like, you couldn't tell me no. Everything was out. I believed everything. Everything was out on the open. I'm talking way too fast. I need to calm down. Yeah, I was angry today. I was doubly angry. Just really hard and angry. In that very place, about 25 years ago, there's a little girl sitting there crying because her mother said she couldn't have ice cream. In the exact same place. And I look back at myself, I look in the mirror, I be like, this same place, I used to cry. Somebody used to threaten to beat me up, and I would be 3 times their size, and I would run home crying. Like, same person. No difference. And now I'm looking at this person, I'm like, you are just too fucking scary for me. And I just, I look at her, I say my piece, and I walk away. And that's the God honest truth. So, I just started, watching the Borgias toward the end of season 2. And I didn't realize this was like, the Borgias was a real papacy family, like a real papacy dynasty from the 15th century. I had no idea. The Spanish Pope, very controversial, and I get into the characters that are played on the TV, and then I read the historical, take on who they were in their lives, and I didn't know that the real Cesare was killed in battle. I didn't even know that. And the father, the Pope, Alexander, his name is Rodrigo, he gets poisoned and he dies from the poison. Didn't even know. And Lucrezia, she ends up dying in, because of the home of the nuns and nunnery, she ends up dying in like a nunnery home. After she gives her life over to, God and everything. I never see these things. I didn't even know. I thought it would be something else. And then I learned that the oldest brother, Giovanni, or they call him Juan, it says, because Juan, the thing is, their youngest brother, he's like 13, and he was, sent off to marry for power. And the oldest brother was sleeping with his wife for like years. I guess he finds out. And I guess, he kills his brother. And I guess not too long after the Borgia comes to pope, not too many years later, the oldest brother, who was the leader of the papal army, he gets killed by his youngest brother for sleeping with his wife. It's crazy. There's a part of his nerves there. His nerves working its way up because I'm trying to speak to you and I'm trying to be calm, but my nerves are anything but rational. Anything but rational. Anyway, I've done recited a bunch of poems and I wanted to post them, but I don't know if I should though. I mean, they're not really, I didn't put, big effort. Not like, Along Came a Spider. Along Came a Spiders has become really popular. I really put some effort into it. But these other ones aren't as, strong and so packed with emotion and potency as. But it still might work, and I think they're good. And I'll probably post them with this when I get a chance. But that's it. I don't want to talk too long, but I thank you for listening. See you when I see you, and I'll talk to you later. As much as I thought I could plan a podcast, that is not going to happen. I do not have the mindset to sit here. Chop up block for block how I'm going to tell you about weight loss and weight gain.